This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube with a daily wrestling news update. One of the highest paid wrestlers of his era, one of the highest paid, definitely in his era in Japan, but also in the United States and Canada. Abdullah the Butcher, as I forgot to shut off my phone here, was backstage at Raw last night. They seem to be bringing a lot of the legends in to do various things lately, where he has a nice watch on. I just find this interesting because he still has an active GoFundMe showing himself in the hospital, begging fans for money. Keep in mind, again, he's one of the highest paid wrestlers of his era. One of the best workers of all time. I'll give him that. Speaking of Raw, it went from having over 6 million, almost 6 million people watch it the first Netflix episode to down to 3.7 million globally on Monday in its third week. So it'll be interesting to see how much it continues to drop. Pretty big drop so far. Saturday night main event went from a 0.42, its first airing, to a 0.33 on NBC Saturday night. The 0.33 was the lowest rating for a major WWE show since the November 15th SmackDown that did a 0.32. So not the greatest numbers. 6 million to 3 million, and it ain't over yet. And I understand why it went down. I tried to watch the first episode, and it was so dragged out and so boring. And the stuff that I could watch, I could have watched condensed in about 10 to 15 minutes on YouTube. And I think that's what people are just going to do as time goes on. And keep in mind, for everyone that likes to talk about like wrestling's greater than ever right now, it just makes money more than ever because people are paying more than ever for content. People never paid this much money for wrestling program before in the history of wrestling because there wasn't a million streaming services fighting with cable for content. So now we're just in a period of time where there's huge money for revenue, and I don't know if that's for content revenue. So I don't know if that's going to last forever. It's good for now as far as people getting a lot of money, but it's not reflective of how good the product is, in my opinion. By the way, Collision only did a 0.07 on Saturday. And yeah, again, Colton, like extremely long ring entrances, but also commercials on Netflix when most people buy Netflix because they don't want to watch commercials, which is just bizarre. And Abdullah the Butcher, my main issue with him is he knew he had hepatitis C for many, many years. He's probably clear of it now, but it is a spreadable disease, and he knew he had it, and he still continued wrestling and also cutting people. Mine was on tape, and I had various ways I was able to prove it that he 100% gave it to me in court. But I'm sure there's a lot of other people that have it. And why don't other people come out about it? Because it does you no good to come out about it. It just causes you problems. But I'm just saying, I know for a fact that he was aware he had it and kept wrestling, which was negligent. And to celebrate somebody that has a disease that can cause a lot of issues and knowingly kept wrestling and bleeding all over the place despite having it, I just have no respect for that. He could have stopped wrestling and got cured, but the only time he actually stopped is when he was called out on it. So before you keep begging anymore on GoFundMe, why don't you sell that watch you were flaunting last night? That's all I got to say about that.